Saw, introduced in chapter 37 of the manga, is the first death row inmate we meet. He has a kill count of 67 and is wanted for murder, armed robbery, the illegal disposal of bodies, and the mutilation of bodies. His main weapon is a big axe that he ties a rope to, allowing him to swing it around and attack from both close and long distances. He has an insane appetite for killing, and his driving philosophy revolves around the excitement he feels watching people at the last moments of their lives. Saw believes that it's his job to give people an exciting movie-like end, since he considers it really sad for people to have non-dramatic endings. This is what sets him off on his mission to hunt down Sakamoto and his family. After being freed from prison by X, Saw travels to Japan and is at first just seen dilly-dallying while the other inmates are already crossing targets off their list. But it turns out that Saw has a grand plan. First, he plans to target Sakamoto's friends and family, killing all of them to drive Sakamoto into a deep despair. Then he plans to kill Sakamoto. This plan is put into motion as he meets Shin and Lu at the Suzuki home improvement store and proceeds to get to work. Their fight begins with Saw on the offensive, hitting Shin with his axe and sending him flying before Shin comes back and kicks him in the face. Unfortunately for Shin, Saw is so deranged that all of his thoughts are just revolving around his desire to kill, so Shin can't really do a whole lot with his mind-reading abilities. Throughout their fight, Saw is largely on the offensive, swinging his axe around while Shin and Lu run away. This changes as Shin unlocks his future sight and starts to push back Saw, before Lu pulls up in her drunken fist and fully puts Saw on the defensive, forcing him to run away in fear. Ultimately, Saw is knocked out by Shin and Lu, but is later able to escape the home improvement store, only to run into Hyo and get one shot in a taxi. Dump, introduced in the same chapter as Saw, is the second death row inmate we meet. She has a kill count of 180 and is wanted for murder, armed robbery, and the illegal disposal of bodies. Unlike Saw, Dump has a unique trait in that her body naturally houses extendable spikes that are capable of inflicting massive damage to people. It's not known how Dump is able to store these spikes that are literally longer than her limbs inside of herself, but Osaragi guesses that she might be able to store them in her bones. During the time that Saw was dilly-dallying at a hotel, Dump was seen wreaking havoc at an unnamed assassin agency. Dump's whole philosophy revolves around the love she feels when people are at the brink of death. To Dump, people are at their most attractive right before they die because their attention is entirely focused on her. This level of attention makes Dump incredibly excited, and she ends up killing them while saying that she loves them. Additionally, Dump craves that level of attention as it's what she interprets as love, and so her rampant killings are just a product of her wanting to be loved. After being freed by X and removing a few of her targets, Dump meets Osaragi at a Buddhist temple, where the latter is praying to be able to kill one of the inmates. Dump interrupts her prayer by shooting a spike directly into Osaragi's back, but Osaragi was able to block it with a coin and responds by physically teaching Dump how to pray in Japan. Dump decides to give Osaragi a makeover and challenges the righteousness of her killings, since for Dump, she was being loved the only way she knew how, and Osaragi is just straight up a killer. Osaragi responds by saying that her killings are nothing more than pest removal for her, before the two continue fighting. Dump is extremely aggressive, constantly charging forward with her spikes, and she is eventually able to disarm Osaragi before continuing to relentlessly attack. Osaragi eventually launches Dump outside the temple before dropping down and talking to Dump about her philosophy on the gods. During this talk, Dump is able to impale Osaragi's hand, likely because Osaragi allowed her to. But this only allows Osaragi to pull up on Dump and kick her in the face, sending her through a set of gates. During this, Dump has a little internal monologue about her constant desire for people's attention led her to the life of a serial killer before coming back to the present and facing down Osaragi, now armed with her buzzsaw. Osaragi thanks Dump for existing, since her existence as a serial killer gives meaning to Osaragi's life, before dashing forward and cutting her down with the buzzsaw, ending the fight. Minimalist is the third death row inmate we meet, and has the highest kill count of any of the inmates, totaling at 370. He's wanted for murder and armed robbery. Minimalist has the special ability to crush almost anything he touches into a tiny ball, including people. This is likely the reason he is not wanted for the illegal disposal of bodies, since all of his victims are probably just meatballs. During the time that Saw was seen dilly-dallying and Dump was seen crossing targets off her list, Minimalist was even more locked in, having already taken out 15 targets. Minimalist's philosophy is a simple one. He loves killing and is seeking satisfaction from it. Despite having 370 kills and another 15 added after being freed from prison, Minimalist was never satisfied and decided to go after the higher ranked targets on the list, starting with Sakamoto. So, Minimalist enters Sakamoto's store but only encounters his wife. After asking her where her husband is and straight up crushing the cash register, Minimalist decides to choke Aoi since he believes she's lying. Unbeknownst to him, Aoi is actually Nagumo in disguise, who proceeds to stab him with a toy knife before revealing his true self. Minimalist gets mad at the deception and prepares to kill Nagumo, but Nagumo reveals that he won't let that happen because Sakamoto asked him to watch over the store while he went to go see Granny Mia. Minimalist reveals that he's actually killed 432 people, but he remains bored. He wonders whether or not Nagumo will satisfy him, but Nagumo just toys with him by dodging his punches and taking his phone to look through his search history. Nagumo continues toying with him, prompting Minimalist to destroy the store and eventually search a fridge, only to be choked out by Nagumo. After Nagumo searches Minimalist's body, he brings out his multi-tool and asks him to choose a way on how he wants to die. Minimalist doesn't choose, so Nagumo rolls a die and then cuts off Minimalist's head. Apart is the last death row inmate we meet and has a confirmed kill count of 206. He's wanted for murder, the mutilation of bodies, and kidnapping. Apart's special gimmick is that he uses extremely sharp wires to precisely cut through people. He can also use the wires to swing around, restrain people, and create nets. Apart's driving philosophy stems from his father telling him that it's what's on the inside that matters. Apart never really fit in as a kid and was bullied even when he took his father's advice. He ended up using violence as a coping mechanism for his loneliness, and after dismembering an animal and being taken to the doctor for a brain scan, Apart's dad started crashing out, so Apart killed him, realizing that humans really are the same on the inside, giving him a sense of connection. It's that sense of understanding between people that allows Apart to not feel so lonely, and it's also why he kills. After being freed from prison, Apart is seen taking out one target before finishing this random guy's manga collection because he has extreme OCD. Later, Apart is spotted from the top of Tokyo Tower by Heisuke, who shoots at him. Apart blocks the bullet and swings up to restrain Heisuke, but is stopped from killing him by Sakamoto. The two then have a protracted battle on the top of Tokyo Tower involving a lot of punching, swinging, and talking as Apart reveals his backstory to Sakamoto. Eventually, Sakamoto learns to use both his weight and Apart's wires to his advantage, punching him and then swinging him into Tokyo Tower and knocking him out. Apart later wakes up and reveals what he knows about X to Sakamoto and the gang, prompting Sakamoto, Shin, and Apart to take a visit to the JA base in Tokyo. When they land, they encounter X and Uda. Apart is able to break Uda's gun to save Shin, as he views Sakamoto's gang as part of the people he's actually able to properly connect with, only for X to pull up and cut off his arm. Sakamoto grabs his body in an attempt to get him and Shin to escape, but Uda is eventually able to trigger a bomb in his body and blow up the building. After this, Apart is never seen again and his current status is unknown, but given the scale of the explosion and the fact that Apart was already heavily injured, I'd be willing to bet that he's just dead. Sorry for my 5 Apart fans.